Now the third and final option is surgery. Now in surgery, if you have de Quervain's or intersection syndrome, they basically take this shaft that's causing you problems, they get in there with their cool little scalpel, and they do what's called a tendon release. So they slide it in there, and they basically cut open one end of it, or even more, and that allows your tendon to slide through a lot more easily. So now let's see if I can, now I'm still not sliding very well. Let's keep going. Well, that didn't work. But anyway, so they do that. It's called a tendon release thing. And for carpal tunnel, they do something very similar. All right. For this giant shaft you have right here, they get in there with the shears. Shears. That's what I have. They get in there with a scalpel and they cut it open just a little bit. And they can even trim off the little flaps they've created there to just give you a little bit more room for the tendons to pass through. Now, the problem with this is most people are unsatisfied with these surgeries because there's a high chance that scar tissue is going to form everywhere where they've cut. And if scar tissue forms there, then you're kind of screwed because every time you move your fingers or your wrist, it's going to aggravate the scar tissue, and the scar tissue is going to cause inflammation, which is the same problem you had in the first place. So generally, you should save surgery as a last possible ditch effort to try to fix what's going on in your hands. So just be aware it has a very, very low success rate, and you may end up back in surgery again. If you don't believe me, just check it out on Google. Alright, and my last and final piece of advice is if you do develop a repetitive stress injury, see a hand specialist. Not a regular doctor, not a sports doctor, okay? See a hand specialist. You don't want to be trusting your hand to somebody who only read about hand injuries from the one chapter in a book sometime back in college. You want someone who sees this sort of thing every day. You want to see someone who's operated on this sort of thing. You want to see someone who just knows as much as possible about hands, because as a percussionist, you're not just a normal person who's picking up grocery bags and stuff. You're using your hands in a very intricate and delicate way, and you don't want to trust that to somebody who doesn't really know what they're doing, or they could really screw up your hand. As far as my own experience, back in 2008, I was doing a lot of computer work, and in the middle of the night, I just had this stabbing pain all of a sudden in my wrist. It hurt so bad, and I got up, I couldn't sleep, it hurt so bad, and I had that pain. I had de Quervain's, although I didn't know what it was at the time. And I was really freaked out because I couldn't move my hand for like 2 months. I tried the rest, I tried the bracing, I tried every possible thing you could try, and after about 4 or 5 months, I was like, okay, I need to go see a doctor. So he went and saw a sports medicine doctor, and he was like, well, we can give you a shot of cortisone. And I was like, all right, well, let's do it, because I can't move my wrist. So they put that in there, and after you get a cortisone shot, for the first week, it hurts so bad that you think you will never be able to play again. After about a week, that passes, and then it kind of gradually gets better. So it was okay for about a year, and I backed off my computer usage. And then the next year, I was playing some video game or something, and I was really into it. And then it started coming back again, and I had to get a second cortisone shot. And I knew, okay, I can't get a third one, so I'm gonna buy a Wii. Like, I can't keep doing these computer things because I don't want to screw up my ability to play percussion. So I had that one, and then I had another one from playing guitar. You know, when you sit with your hand cocked like this, it's not like the best thing for your wrist. So I was playing guitar somewhere, and I was holding out this chord for like 10 minutes. And then at the end of the 10 minutes, I couldn't move my wrist back. And I was like, oh, that's kind of weird. Whew, that hurt. And that was when I developed intersection syndrome in my left hand, and it hurt really bad right up here. So I just kind of let it rest for a while, and then it was okay. I didn't have to get any shots or anything. I didn't want to do that in this wrist as well. So, and those weren't even percussion injuries. You know, they were doing other things, but I couldn't play percussion during that time. So you want to be really careful how you use your hands and wrists in everyday life, not just when you're playing percussion, so you don't develop one of these things. Alright, so that's about it. Thanks for watching, and to close today's video, I have a special presentation that I think you're going to enjoy. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, to really drive home the point of how important it is to warm up and stretch properly before playing, I've composed a little song for the guitar. My marimba bars are sadly not in from the tuner yet. Hopefully they should be arriving sometime today. So this is a little song I like to call Don't Get an RSI. Spinal SED. Don't get an SED. Don't get an RSI. Don't get an RSI. You can avoid injury if you try. Then you won't have wrist pain eating your French fry. Don't get an RSI. Don't get an STD. Don't listen to Justin Bieber.